You know, in the NBA, some games are just another Tuesday night, but others are statements. And today, we're going to break down how the Oklahoma City Thunder didn't just beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, they sent a message to the entire league. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's start with just one number, 32. What do you think that is? A player's number? Maybe total assists? I mean, in a game between two really solid playoff-level teams, what could 32 even mean? Well, turns out, the answer tells you the whole story of this game.
Yep, 32. That was the final margin of victory in an absolute beatdown. The Thunder rolled into Cleveland and just dismantled them, 136-104. And would you just look at that fourth quarter, 45-25. That's not just winning, that's sending a message.
So yeah, this was not just another notch in the win column for Oklahoma City. This was a statement. But for Cleveland, it was a night they'd probably love to erase from their memory, one that really stands out for all the wrong reasons.
And to get just how big of a deal this was for Cleveland, you have to go back almost 2 full seasons to find a regular season loss this bad. I mean, for a proud team with championship hopes, getting beaten by 32 points in your own building, that is a serious wake-up call.
So the big question is, how did this even happen? How does a really good team like the Cavs get so completely outplayed? Well, the answer, the whole story of this game, was written from about 23 feet away from the basket.
And here it is. This is where the game was won and lost. Plain and simple. The Thunder were just on another planet, hitting a ridiculous 23 three-pointers. The Cavaliers, on the other hand, they only hit 8. That huge gap you see right there, that's the entire ball game. And it wasn't just about how many threes they took. It was about how efficient they were. I mean, the Thunder were shooting almost 49% from deep. That's basically a coin flip on whether it's going in. Now you compare that to Cleveland, who were just ice cold at under 23%. You just can't win a game with that kind of shooting difference. No way.
And they saved their most unbelievable stuff for the very end. With just over 3.5 minutes left, they just exploded on a 23-5 run that completely blew the doors off the place. 7 of their last shots were threes. It was an absolute downpour that turned a big lead into a historic one.
And at the center of this offensive hurricane was the Thunder superstar Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's honestly building a pretty undeniable case for MVP this season.
SGA, as he's known, just dropped a cool 30 points to lead everybody. He was the engine, the conductor of the whole orchestra, controlling the game and getting his shot pretty much whenever he felt like it. And here's the crazy part. This wasn't some fluke. This is just what SGA does now. This was his 30th time scoring 30 or more points this season. That kind of unbelievable consistency is exactly how you build an MVP campaign. But hey, SGA didn't have to do it all by himself. Not even close. The whole team was just on fire. You had Chet Holmgren adding 28 points, LeGuins Dort was a human flamethrower with 5 threes, and Isaiah Joe came off the bench and hit 4 more. I mean, when a team is clicking like that from top to bottom, they are nearly impossible to beat. Okay, so let's flip the script for a second and look at the other side of this. For all of Oklahoma City's brilliance, Cleveland just could not find any kind of rhythm, any answer at all to what the Thunder were doing. And this right here is really the bottom line. When your opponent is having a historic shooting night, you absolutely cannot afford to have one of your worst. That 22.9% from 3, that was Cleveland's second worst mark of the entire season. That's what you call a perfect storm for a blowout. It's not like they didn't have guys trying to get it going. You know, Donovan Mitchell led the team with 19 points, and both Jalen Tyson and Jarrett Allen chipped in with 16. But on a night like this, against that kind of offensive explosion, those solid numbers were really just a drop in the bucket.
And you know, this loss kind of points to a worrying trend for Cleveland. They've now lost 8 of their last 14 games at home. A building that was supposed to be a fortress for them is starting to show a few cracks.
So what does one game, even a blowout this big, really mean for these two teams? Let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture.
Well, this win pretty much solidified the Thunder's spot as the best team in the entire league with an amazing 36-8 record. And for the Cavaliers, hey, despite this really ugly loss, they're still holding on to a respectable record, keeping them right in the thick of the Eastern Conference playoff race. But the biggest takeaway from this whole thing is pretty undeniable. This was not just another game on the schedule. It was a message. When the number 1 team in the league comes into your house and puts on a performance like this, every other contender out there takes notice.
And so that leaves us with the one big question moving forward. When they're clicking like this, with an MVP-level leader and a whole roster full of shooters, are the Oklahoma City Thunder the team to beat in the entire NBA? We'll just have to wait and find out. Thanks for joining me.